Let's get one thing straight from the start. If the word obsession scares you, it's because life has taught you to be average. Let me ask you an honest question. When was the last time you wanted something so badly that it consumed you? Not a casual desire. I mean a goal that lived in your heart, kept you awake at night, hijacked your thoughts during the day. A dream that refused to leave you alone. Most people can't remember, or worse, they never had one. Not because they were incapable, but because the world taught them to stay within limits, to chase balance, moderation, and realistic goals. But here's the painful truth. The dream you silenced didn't die. It turned into your frustration, anxiety, and self-doubt. That heaviness you feel, that sense that life should be more than this, it's not depression. It's unexpressed ambition, trapped inside a mind that was never allowed to obsess. If what I just said feels uncomfortably true, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why the very thing you've been suppressing, your intensity, your hunger, your obsession, is not a weakness to hide. It's the part of you that was designed to break limits, if only you'd stop restricting it. Before we begin, I just want to acknowledge you for being here. I want you to know that this space is for you, a space where you can reflect, where you can breathe and grow, where you can step away from the noise of the world, even if just for a few minutes, and reconnect with your thoughts, your purpose, and the quiet strength that lives inside you. So, take a deep breath and allow yourself to just be here, fully present. You deserve this moment of stillness, because in this stillness, something powerful begins to form. Focus. And when focus deepens, it transforms into something even deeper. Obsession. Not the reckless kind that burns you out, but the kind that consumes your distractions, sharpens your vision, and turns your purpose into a force that cannot be ignored. In a world addicted to noise and comfort, obsession has become a superpower. It's what separates those who dream from those who build, those who wait from those who become. Today, we're going to explore that. The power of focus, and how obsession, when directed with purpose, can become the driving force behind greatness. My ultimate goal is to bring out the best version of you, transform your mindset by challenging wrong illusions and perceptions, inspire positivity to the degree that you experience a mind shift, exponential growth, and you begin to live intentionally. So, before we dive deeper, I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for showing up, for listening, and for being a part of this channel. Every view, every like, every comment, it all means more than you realize. You are the reason this channel continues to grow, and your presence gives purpose to every word shared here. If there's a topic you'd love to see explored, something that speaks to your own journey or curiosity, feel free to leave it in the comments. I read every comment, and your ideas often shape the next videos we create together. Now, let's begin. Look at the sun. It is the definition of power. It spreads its light across the entire world, bright and strong. You can stand in that brilliant light all day. It will warm your skin, nourish a garden, and give life to the planet. Yet it will never start a fire. Its power is simply too scattered. Now consider a cheap, simple magnifying glass. It has no power of its own. All it does is take that gentle, diffused sunlight and bend every ray, every bit of heat and energy, onto one tiny, focused point. And what happens? The paper burns. A spark ignites. Fire is made. This is the hard, unavoidable truth about human potential. Your fire only starts when your light is put into one direction. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus. Your talent, your energy, your time, your skills, that is the sun. It is all there, bright and strong. But you spread it across so many unfinished projects, 3 jobs, 3 side hustles, 20 casual friends, and endless time on the phone. You are bright, yes, but you are too scattered to ignite a spark, talk more of fire. Consider the story of a man named Elias. He wanted to make violins. For 2 years, he tried to be balanced. He spent mornings in his workshop, afternoons working in a restaurant, and evenings with friends to prove to everyone and himself that he was well-adjusted. What happened? His violins were okay, good enough to sell, fine to listen to. He was a good cook, a dependable community member, a cheerful friend, but an average violin maker, an easily forgettable craftsman. He had so many interests that his best talent was consistently starved of the time it needed to flourish. One day his old teacher visited. He looked at Elias's latest, balanced work and said, "Elias, this is a decent violin, but I want you to abandon every other thing for a while. Forget the restaurant job, leave your friends for now, and focus on violin making." Elias was shocked, but the truth of his teacher's words hit him. He committed. He locked his workshop door and became a ghost to the outside world. He streamlined his life to the point of self-denial. He said no to everything that didn't serve the purpose. For 1 year, he focused on nothing but the wood, the curve, the perfect painful thickness of the varnish. His social life flatlined. His routine vanished. He became, by all measures, unbalanced, obsessed. But the violin he finished was not just okay. It was exceptional. He didn't even have to send it out. A master soloist heard about it and traveled 300 miles just to play it. In that moment, Elias understood the trade-off. He wasn't just good enough anymore. He had given up the easy compliments of a balanced life for the undeniable, world-changing sound of mastery. Let me ask you a question. What great skill or goal are you settling for good enough on because you refuse to give up the easy lie of balance? The world does not pay you for what you want to do, it pays you for what you master. And mastery demands a strange, high, socially wrong level of focus. Write this declaration in the comment. I direct my entire energy to one point. I choose the power of mastery over the comfort of being good at many things. The fear of the too much comes from a simple truth. Intense focus is unpredictable. A person deeply focused and obsessed with a mission is harder to manage and harder to hire for a regular job. Society values people who are flexible, agreeable, and easily fits into a team. The obsessed person often breaks the rules, ignores meetings, and sacrifices social norms for their work. They are a threat to the established order because their success proves that you don't have to follow the common path. This is why the person who is too focused is often labeled as weird, selfish, or socially awkward. It's a way to scare others back in line. The language you use also works against deep effort. You use phrases like work-life balance as a moral law, not just a suggestion. If you work hard and skip a weekend party, people don't say, "Good for you for working on your dream." They say, "You need to relax," or "You're burning out." This vocabulary of fear is designed to make you feel guilty for prioritizing your purpose. It tells you that your self-worth is tied to how much you connect with others, not how much you achieve on your own. This pressure ensures that you quit your biggest projects right before a major breakthrough, just to feel normal again. This programming that tells you to avoid going too deep kills greatness even before it begins. Genius is not born from comfort. It's born from friction and deep immersion. Most people stop when they hit the point of true resistance, where the work gets boring, painful, and socially isolating. This is the obsession barrier. If you've been conditioned to seek comfort and balance, you stop here. Only the one who ignores the social noise and keeps pushing through that barrier reaches the level of true mastery. The average person's life is proof of the power of this conditioning. To break free, you must first expose the programming. Realize that when someone calls your intense focus an obsession, they are usually reacting to their own lack of commitment. Your job is not to be liked by everyone, but to be effective at your mission. You must make a conscious decision to trade the comfort of being average for the pain of being necessary. The fear of the obsessed is a lesson in what not to be, and by embracing that intensity, you begin the difficult, rewarding journey toward achieving the impossible. Let's talk about the focus obsession spectrum. How ordinary attention evolves into genius. Here we'll break down the evolution of greatness, how a simple spark of interest, when nurtured, transforms into focus, then deep focus, then healthy obsession, until it becomes mastery. Obsession isn't a strange sickness. It's simply focus at its highest voltage. Think of attention like electricity moving through wires. Most people operate on the lowest setting, just enough power to check their phone and watch a video. This starts as a simple interest, where you find something nice or fun, like a new hobby. This interest might last a few weeks, and it doesn't cost you much time or energy. It's the first spark, but it's not enough to build anything lasting. If that initial spark gets stronger, it becomes focus. This is where you start putting in real, consistent time. You schedule an hour a day to practice or work on your project. You close a few doors to distraction. At this stage, you're learning the basic rules and seeing small improvements. You're trying to achieve a specific goal, like passing a test or finishing a rough draft. However, this level of focus is still fragile. It can be easily broken by a phone notification, a friend calling, or simply feeling tired. It's strong enough to keep you busy, but not strong enough to create a breakthrough. The next stage is deep focus. This is the change from trying to focus to being fully absorbed. This happens when you stop watching the clock and the work becomes the only thing that matters. You start giving up casual time. Maybe you skip TV or start working early in the morning. Your progress speeds up quickly because you are no longer fighting distractions. You don't even notice them. This state is rewarding, but it still requires some effort to push yourself into it. You're starting to produce high-quality work, and your skills are pulling away from the average person's. When deep focus becomes your default mode, it turns into healthy obsession. This is simply deep focus that never quits. Obsession is not separate from focus. It is the point where the electrical current hits its maximum voltage. At this stage, you are choosing your mission over almost everything else. You are happy to make sacrifices. You want to work all weekend on your project. You stop seeing the effort as a chore and start seeing it as the only thing that makes life meaningful. This level of intensity is where true innovation happens because you are exploring problems longer and deeper than anyone else is willing to. This journey from a simple interest to healthy obsession leads directly to mastery. Mastery isn't a final destination. It's just the natural result of living in the obsession stage for a long time. Every genius in science, art, or sports simply lived at the far end of the focus spectrum. They normalized the extreme effort that most people fear. Your goal isn't to be balanced. Your goal is to push the power of your focus until it becomes a powerful, creative obsession that drives you to do the work that truly matters. Let's talk about the price of focused obsession and why mediocrity costs more. When you choose to live, you must pay a price. There are two main paths, the path of intense focus and the path of just getting by. We call it mediocrity. Both of these paths will cost you something important. The average life is not free, and the focused life is not easy. But only one of them will pay you back with a life that feels meaningful and real. To make the right choice, you need to look closely at the cost you accept on each path. The price of intense focus, of obsession, is paid right now, up front. This price includes solitude. You must often work alone while others are out having fun or relaxing. It costs discipline. You must force yourself to do the hard, boring tasks again and again, even when you don't feel like it. It costs discomfort. You will feel pain, doubt, and tiredness because you are pushing your limits and growing. You pay this price with your time, your comfort, and sometimes the loss of easy friendships. This is a difficult, clear price, but it is a short-term payment for a lifetime of rewards. Now, think about the hidden cost of staying average. This price is not paid today, it is paid later, and it ends up being much heavier. The first cost is regret. You will look back at all the great things you never even dared to try to build or create. You pay with wasted potential. The special gifts you were given will never be fully used. The deepest cost is self-betrayal. This is the slow, quiet feeling that you knew what you should have done with your life, but you chose the easy, safe way instead. This cost doesn't hurt right away, but it crushes your spirit over many years. The key difference between these two prices is simple. The price of focused obsession is a sharp, clean pain. It hurts when you work, you struggle, and you make sacrifices. But when the task is finished, the pain is gone, and you have something real to show for it. The cost of avoiding focus is a dull, endless ache. It feels easy to relax and waste time today, but every day you wake up with the heavy, heavy weight of emptiness. You pay the price for focus with hard, focused effort. You pay the cost of mediocrity with the slow, forgotten years of your life. You must decide which price you are willing to pay. Will you pay the price of discipline and loneliness to build a life full of purpose and meaning? Or will you pay the cost of regret and emptiness to have a comfortable life that is easily forgotten? Choose the path that demands a higher price today, so that tomorrow you can live with the reward of a life well spent. Let's talk about the one thing rule, the power of a singular dominant priority. Most people fail, not because they are lazy, but because they are trying to do too much at once. They divide their precious time and energy among 5 big goals, 3 side projects, and constant personal improvement tasks. This is like trying to pour a bucket of water into 5 small cups at the same time. You end up making a mess, and no cup ever gets truly full. Success requires that you pick one single mission and make it the most important thing in your life. This is the one thing rule. Finding the one domino that, when pushed, will make every other thing fall in place. When you choose this singular dominant priority, something powerful happens. You get clarity, and clarity creates momentum. Before, you wasted energy deciding what to work on each morning. Now every decision becomes simple. Does this action move my one thing forward? Yes or no? If it's a no, you don't do it. If it's a yes, you do it without question. This sharp focus cuts through all the usual confusion and doubt. All your actions, habits, and efforts stop fighting each other and begin to pull in the same direction. This clarity turns into momentum. Think of it like a train. A train needs a huge amount of power to start moving, but once it's moving, its great weight makes it almost impossible to stop. Your single priority gives you that weight. When you focus all your energy on one target, you quickly build up speed. This momentum makes the work feel easier and more natural. The small daily wins that happen, because of your focus, build on each other, and you find yourself moving faster than you ever could when your energy was spread thin. Choosing one mission is hard because it means you have to say no to many other good ideas. You must accept that other things will temporarily suffer, your hobbies, your casual reading, or even small tasks at work. Your chosen mission must become the center of gravity for your attention and obsession. It's the sun that your whole world spins around. If your biggest goal is to launch a business, then everything you do, from the books you read to the people you talk to, must serve that purpose. The greatest results always come from this kind of singular attention. It's not just about working hard, it's about making your hard work count the most. If you want a life that truly means something, stop trying to manage many small fires. Find the one thing that matters most right now, elevate it above everything else, and then pour all your focused energy into making it happen. That one focused action will produce more success than 1,000 half-hearted attempts. Let's talk about identity and obsession. You become what you repeatedly focus on. Obsession stops being difficult when your main mission becomes a part of who you are. At the start, focus feels like hard work. You have to force yourself to sit down and ignore distractions. But the more you focus on one mission, the more you practice saying no to everything else. This repetition is the secret. It's the difference between saying, "I am trying to be a writer," and "I am a writer." When you change the label you use for yourself, the work stops feeling like something you have to do and starts feeling like something you are meant to do. The connection starts with your focus shaping your habits. Your focus is like a guide that points your actions. If your mission is to be a master guitar player, your focus naturally leads you to practice every day. This daily practice is the habit. Most people think of habits as small tricks, but they are much bigger than that. Habits are the proof of where your attention really goes. They are the small, simple actions you do so often that they become automatic, like breathing or walking. Next, these habits shape your identity. If you train every morning, you don't just have a habit of running. You start to see yourself as an athlete. If you write 500 words before breakfast every day, you are not just someone who writes. You become a committed writer. Your identity is simply the story you tell yourself about who you are. When your habits become powerful and consistent, that story changes. The work is no longer just something you do. It is the most important evidence of the person you have become. Finally, this strong identity shapes your destiny. When your mission becomes your identity, consistency becomes almost effortless. An obsessed person doesn't need to find motivation to work because working is simply how they live. The focused mission is now their default setting. When faced with a choice, a night out with friends or a critical work session, the person whose identity is wrapped up in their mission will choose the work without a second thought. They are not making a sacrifice, they are simply being themselves. This is the great magic of true obsession. It turns hard work into a natural state. The path from temporary focus to lasting mastery is a simple circle. Your focus builds good habits. Those habits change your self-identity, and that new identity makes the focus feel natural and easy. To achieve greatness, stop trying to do the work of a master and start being the master who simply works. Now let's reveal why focus and obsession require strategic separation. If you want to build a life that is uncommon, you must stop spending all your time in common environments. Deep focus and true obsession are like delicate, powerful chemistry. They need a clean, quiet space to work. The world is full of noise. The noise of social media, the noise of other people's problems, and the noise of their need for your approval. To focus deeply, you need to create a strategic separation from all that noise. You cannot solve a unique problem while constantly listening to the majority. This need for distance is why obsession often looks like loneliness or isolation. But you must redefine this isolation. It is not a punishment or a sign that you are weird. It is a performance enhancer. Think of a scientist working on a cure. Do they work best with a crowd of people talking and asking for validation? No. They need to be alone with the problem. Isolation gives you the huge gift of uninterrupted time where you can think clearly, make mistakes, and correct them without feeling judged. It is the necessary state where deep, important work actually happens. The biggest enemy of deep focus is the need for instant validation and approval. When you are focused, you are doing work that most people don't understand yet. If you constantly seek approval from the crowd, they will always tell you to stop, slow down, or change your goal to something safer. Strategic separation breaks this bad habit. It forces you to rely on your own internal belief instead of needing claps and likes from others. The temporary distance from friends and social pressure helps you trust your own crazy ideas long enough to make them real. Obsession requires you to create your own bubble of reality. In this bubble, your main mission is the only rule. Outside the bubble, the world tells you to be flexible, to compromise, and to take breaks. But inside, you are allowed to be intense, demanding, and single-minded. This is crucial because you can't fight two different realities at once. You must choose to live, at least for a set time each day, completely inside the demanding reality of your mission. This focused separation is how ordinary people get extraordinary results. So, understand that the isolation you feel when you are intensely focused is not a problem. It is a tool. If you want an uncommon outcome, you must accept an uncommon lifestyle. Stop feeling guilty about saying no and disappearing to work. Embrace separation as the highest form of respect for your own potential. Create the distance needed for your focus to turn into an unstoppable obsession, and watch how quickly your biggest dreams start to move from an idea into reality. In conclusion, we've looked closely at the cost of both paths. We've seen that the life of balance and easy comfort is not free. It comes with the heavy price of regret and wasted talent. We have also seen that obsession is not a sickness, but the highest level of focus, the one thing rule turned into a way of life. Every great achievement in history, from the small personal breakthrough to the world-changing invention, was made by someone who dared to be too much for the common crowd. Your biggest enemy is not a lack of time or talent. It is the social fear that tells you your focus is unhealthy, just because it makes others uncomfortable. Now, you stand at the edge of the isolation effect. You have the knowledge, that your success requires you to step away from the noise, the easy approval, and the demands of average people. You understand that your focus must become your identity. You must stop just trying to do the work and start being the person who simply does it. The choice is no longer about if you will pay a price, but what kind of price will you pay? Will it be the sharp, clean pain of discipline today, or the dull, endless ache of mediocrity for the rest of your life? Stop fearing the label they throw at you. Embrace the fire. Go to your workspace right now and choose the one thing that demands all your attention. Say this simple truth out loud and make it your shield. My focus is my furnace. I will not let it cool. Go and commit the act of pure, single-minded focus that your potential deserves. Thank you once again for joining me on this exploration. Please subscribe to join this continuous path of difficult but necessary deep introspection. Until next time, protect your focus, honor your obsession, because the world will try to tame your fire, but only you can keep it burning.